guys, so today I'm going to start my dress. Let's see how it goes. So I've just pinned the pattern pieces onto the fabric. Time to cut out. That's it, all the pattern pieces chopped out. It's now time to sew them all together. Finished dress, which I think looks a lot better than I thought it was going. It's this dress here with the button back. I went for the slightly longer one, which is View B. I'm really pleased with this, to be fair. I think it's probably the best one I've made so far, and I've really seen my sewing improve just in this garment compared to the few things that I've made. Now it's hard to tell you because my mannequin is such a nice slim mannequin and I'm obviously a lot bigger, so I've had to try and pin it on so you can sort of see the shape. But anyway, so this is it, this is the finished product. So I'm really pleased with the neckline, because I'd faced it, then I understitched, which has given it quite a professional look. I watched a YouTube video, I can't remember what the lady's name was, but basically she was saying how just by doing an understitch, so much more of a professional look it has, because it stops the interfacing popping out, so you can just get this nice crisp line. Also, I'm really pleased with the pleats, which are here, and the same on this side. I'm just going to unpin it. The pleats at the front, I think I've managed to put them in really neatly and evenly. I really tried hard with the pattern, because of the type of pattern it was, to like align it up as it goes down. Now I can see where it's slightly, because of the curve of the pattern piece, how it sort of has this part here. It's probably not the straightest along there, but I think considering my level of sewing skills, I think I've done a pretty good job actually. The shoulders as well have a little pleat in, which actually, again, I think I've done a really good job. I think partly because sewing pattern on there, it doesn't actually say you need to put your pleat here for the sleeve. It just says evenly place it, which meant all I had to do was align the seam to the side seam of the dress, which I did here, and then I just put it nice and flat all the way around, which obviously left me with loads of material up here, and then I literally just folded it over, made sure it was in the centre of the shoulder seam, and it sits really nicely, and I managed to do it the same on the other side, so it's nice and even. So I'm really pleased with that. All my seams match up as well, which I think is the first time in forever. So my side seam of the bodice matches the side seam of the skirt on both sides as well. And probably the trickiest thing I found, which I thought I would, to be honest, was the back, where the buttons align. I think I probably should have done the first one a bit higher, which I didn't, so it leaves this gap here. And again, the material didn't line up, so it sort of Doesn't line up very well there. It's also really thick. Now I put interfacing in and it folded over, which made it really thick because it's quite a thick material anyway. Now I did get a bit confused on the instructions here, and I reread and I reread and I reread, and it still wasn't making it really any clearer to me. So I thought, well, I'm just going to have to do what I think it is, and then you learn from these things. So I'm not sure I got this part 100% right, but I don't think it's too bad considering this is the first like back button fastening I've done. All of the buttons are equal as well. The button holes I think are pretty good. So that was my first one. I did do a couple of practice ones on a scrap piece of material, which I highly recommend because the first one was diabolical, to say the least. It was a big fat mess. So I definitely recommend doing a few practice ones first. It was still hard on this because that was one piece of fabric just on its own. And this is obviously several layers of fabrics. Then I did it, then cut the hole, which made it a bit harder because obviously it's a lot thicker. But again, for my level of expertise, I think it's not too bad. Definitely needs improving, but it does the job. The hem as well, I think I did pretty well to get quite an even hem finish, which was better than that skirt that I did. Although I was quite pleased with the skirt. I definitely think I've made an improvement, which is what this whole process is about. But I did use this foot, which I think is called a hemming foot, but I could be wrong. So this, basically the fabric, it curls in the little bit at the end, like it folds back on itself, then stitches, so you don't have to fold it and fold it again to get the neat side. So it's quite a time saver, but again, it needs a lot of practice using this foot. The first time I used it, I thought, oh great, this is going to be easy. I did it and it was a big fat mess. I highly recommend practicing on a few scraps of fabric first. But yeah, it really did help. I think I got the fit pretty well for me. Obviously, it doesn't help having a mannequin like a quarter of the size of me, but I do think the size of it was pretty good. And to be fair, I think the sizing on this is pretty good because sometimes I think on the pattern pieces you really do have to measure yourself rather than go by the sizing. So if you're a size, I don't know, 16 UK, and that's what you are in pretty much all the shops, which is unlikely because all shops are various sizes. 116 will be that big, next 16 will be that big. But say you're on average a 16, don't just go by, oh, it says 16, let's cut the 16 out, because it's unlikely that you'll be there. And also it's not just the sizes, it's where you place darts and things. So this has a dart here and here for the bust. Now I just followed the pattern, which I've done before, and then it's not gone where my bust is at all, and it looks silly. I don't know why I didn't check it on this one, but luckily it actually sat pretty well when I tried it on. But I highly recommend trying it on, or if you've got a mannequin that is your size, which is a lot easier, you can then place the darts where they need to be for you, because every body shape is different. 2 size 16s still have a different body shape, so I highly recommend trying it on as you go along. Place the darts where they're best suited for you and other bits and bobs, so you're best measuring rather than going by the sizes. But saying that, this pattern, which is Simply So, I think, to be fair, I got it from a charity shop. Its size is pretty accurate to the size that I wear, so that was good, whereas others haven't been. So, you know, Simply So, I highly recommend it. It was very good. I'd definitely be encouraged to go with that brand in the future. Not to say that I don't like any other brands, it's just so far from the brands that I've used for sewing patterns, Simply Sew have probably been the best one for me personally so far. But yeah, so all in all, I am pretty impressed with this dress, and it fits lovely, which is the first garment I have made that have actually fitted properly to me. And that's probably why I love this Simply Sew pattern so much, because other patterns that I've made, it's not quite fitted well. I mean, that could fully have just been my lack of sewing skills, but it also could have been, like, all patterns are different from what I found out so far. Their instructions are really thorough, which I liked. But for my next challenge, I am going to do something slightly different. Instead of making a piece of clothing, I have decided to make a teddy bear. Just because I think it's a little bit different. They look cute. I was about to say they look easy enough to make, but who knows? Sometimes I think these things and then it all goes to pot. But to be fair, I thought I was really going to struggle with this one more than any other garment that I've made, and it was one of the easier ones that I made. Again, I don't know if that's because I'm getting more knowledge on sewing tips and tricks and things like that. Let's give it a go. I remember making a teddy bear when I was little and my nan showed me how to do it, and my gosh, it was a mess. But I was so pleased with it. It took me ages. I'd hand sewn everything and it did look like it had been through a battle, but it was mine and I was really proud of it because I made it, and I hope that I'm going to do the same for these. Now, I've got 3 children, and if it's any good they'll probably fight over it, so I'll have to make more. Now, if it's not very good, they won't fight over it, so I'll know exactly whether it's any good or not. So I will let you know and keep you updated on that. Now, if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe because it really means a lot. Please comment below if you are going through a sewing journey of your own, or if you've got any tips for me, because I am fairly new to this. I did it a long time ago, but it has been a long time since I've sewn, always been since school. So please, if you've got any tips and tricks for me, then I am all ears. Please comment below. Until then, take care.